The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
All right, Cal, speaking of Patrick Allvin and secret philosophies and Canucks success, Patrick Allvin once said he would make Elias Pettersson's Swedish meatballs if it meant resigning in Vancouver. Do you think he actually did that?
Damn. I don't think he did that. I've actually never had a pair of Swedish meatballs in my mouth. I've never done that whole IKEA thing.
I'll make you some.
You make me some? Can we go to IKEA this weekend? I know you're a bachelor this weekend, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Boom, bam. Let's do this.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer for Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks because it is your Canucks every damn day. Hey, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe or follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. We also got to let you know one more time, because the contest ends tomorrow, but you have one more day to win a pair of free Canucks tickets to LA and Vancouver on Monday, March 25th. If you want to enter the contest, you got to do two things. You have to either subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Canucks, or leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. And then you got to subscribe to the Discord. The link for that is in the bio of this episode. Enjoy the Canucks talk, the community with all other fans and people in the Locked On Canucks family.
Trevor,
Let's do it.
It's a place to talk Canucks when you're on the toilet. It's a dream come true. It really is, man. It really is. Now you can do that on Twitter, but it's different in the Discord. And you know what? I'm going to actually do the announcement tomorrow, but not on the first episode of Locked On. I think I'm going to do like a special one, okay? For real. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, go live for 20, 30 minutes. We'll do it live, blah, blah, blah. We'll make the announcement also in the Discord. I can't wait to give away some tickets, man. Go Canucks, go. The games matter again. The sunshine is sunny, and games matter. It's been a while since the combination of those things happened in Vancouver.
100%, man. And it's sunnier days ahead. And this does kind of feel like the calm before the storm a bit. We're post-trade deadline. We're not at the playoffs yet. But I think things are going to heat up here soon enough. But on today's episode, we want to take a step back and look at why the Canucks have been so successful. And a lot of it stems with Allvin. And I think he gave some recent quotes in an interview.
Okay, you know what? Trevor is lagging like crazy, man. Go reset your router. And I'll carry forward here, okay? For real. Locked On Canucks, your team every day, a.k.a. your Canucks every day. Trevor wanted to do this. He texted me in the morning. We got to talk about Patrick Allvin, and we got to talk about that... We got to talk about that leadership, man. It's something else. Again, though, Kyle Bowen, join the Discord, link in the bio, boom, bam. Be your own boss. That's what I'm feeling. From what I'm hearing from Patrick Allvin. And I'm pretty sure you talked to who? Was it McIntyre? Was it Ian McIntyre you talked to about his leadership? Trevor's back. Benji, talk about the leadership, man. I did the best I could, okay? Are you there?
I'm here, buddy, I think. Jeez, blame it on Abbotsford, where I'm recording live from today. It was Pierre LeBrun from The Athletic who talked to Patrick Allvin. And I think one of the main quotes that came out of that interview was, LeBrun asked, what does he learn most since becoming a GM? And this is the quote that caught my attention. Allvin said that the biggest thing he's learned is that, quote, I think delegating and trusting your staff so you can hold them accountable. I don't believe in micromanaging. I believe in empowering. Okay? Ooh. And that, in one sentence, signifies the biggest change with the Vancouver Canucks over the past 2 years. Gone is the Jim Benning era of micromanaging, not even just micromanaging, but cleaning house. It was the Jim Benning dictatorship. The Canucks front office now, they live in a communist world, okay? And not to scare people off, but, communism works.
Whoa.
When, everyone's on equal playing field. There's no greed, okay? And I don't think there's any greed. I don't think there's any egos in the Canucks front office. I think they're all working in unison. They're all working together. They each have their roles. And Rutherford has said this before in interviews as well. He said that he has had something along the lines of aren't just a bunch of yes men in our front office, okay? They argue, they disagree with each other, and that's what breeds success, okay? When you have people at the top who are having good, solid debates with each other in terms of, what the organization should do moving forward, that's what creates success. Again, this is not the Jim Benning era where, Trevor Linden disagreed and what happened? He got ousted, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just happy that we live in a world where, again, I think the number one reason for the Canucks' success is that they actually agree or they disagree and have good conversation. It isn't just, one man, Jim Benning, just making all the decisions.
Yeah, and remember, as soon as somebody kind of went against the grain with Jim Benning, he low-key kind of got fired. And then years
Judd
later...
Brackett.
Judd Brackett, you can even go back to Trevor Linden, too. That's what I was kind of alluding to, It was Trevor Linden first, and then I feel as if Judd Brackett kind of made his own decision to leave before the inevitable was going to happen, And honestly speaking, the inevitable is not being listened to. And, you brought it up. But it's 2024, man. For real. You don't want yes men in your organization. You want strong conversation. You want opinions. And you want cooperation, not avoidance. And you know what, Trevor? When you hire a lot of smart minds, let's be honest. It wasn't that long ago, right? Press release after press release after press release. It kind of stopped after Taka got hired. But all these new faces that were coming in were pretty notable. Straight up. Straight up. Well, look at the names. Well, look at the females. Look at the bold changes. Look at the smart people. Look at Re-Up and Ryan Johnson. Look at who they hired as their AHL coach. I feel as if they weren't like no-name individuals. They were pretty well respected. And if you have that within your organization, you best believe the best thing is to do is to establish that type of environment where everyone has a voice, everyone has a thought, and let's figure this out together as long as we're on the same page / same chapter of this book, And the book is titled Win a Stanley Cup and Be Competitive Every Year. That's seriously the title of the book. And it's an interesting point that Allvin brought out with LeBron, not McIntyre, but it's not surprising. And it kind of brings me to this point. Like, yo, dude, Allvin Rutherford, next press conference, drop the books, man. Drop the books. What are you guys reading? Oh, what the F you reading, right? Tell us, because I want to know.
Yeah, that would be great to know. But again, it's just such a change from where the Canucks were 2 years ago, where isn't it hard to believe that Jim Benning was holding down both the president and the general manager role at one point with the Vancouver Canucks?
Yo,
what a crazy era, man.
Dude, what was Aquilini doing? What was Aquilini doing for that long, dude? He was busy, man. He was busy with other things. Because, bro, that was, again, what's the word? Ludicrous? That was a failure. That being said, man, live in the moment, okay? Speaking of books, I'm reading Abundance by Deepak Chopra, okay? I'm living in the moment, and everything that happened in the past led to this moment, and what this moment instills is, ultimately the window opening for the Vancouver Canucks, but us being in a pretty fortunate situation where, bro, there's like a 10% chance the Vancouver Canucks are going to win the Stanley Cup. And as a sports fan, bro, even though the window just opened, I feel as if I'm living in a dream. AKA, my life is a lot better than it quote-unquote should be, and it's only because I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan. Like, Trevor, like, it's an extreme question to ask, but since you're such a nerd in the world of sports, it's a good one, What percentage back in the day would you give it for the Vancouver Canucks to be in this situation? Because to see a turnaround like this is damn near impossible. So the percentage I would give, if you ask me, what do you think the Canucks will be in 2 years, in 2024? I'm asking this in 2022. Dude, there's a 0% chance I would say this, and where we are, 0%.
Yeah, I like to. I think I became less optimistic over the years, starting to cover this team in 2013, obviously, watching my whole life. But every year that went by, even when I was writing about like 2017, 2018, it's like, wow, if all falls right, like maybe they could squeak into the playoffs. Then obviously nothing fell right. And they always finished near the bottom of the standings. So I became less and less optimistic as the years went on. That being said, when you started to have the pillars in place, Pedersen, Hughes, Demko, Miller, it started to become more clear that one of these days they got to figure it out. And that's why I think, I was pretty bullish when we were doing this in the summer that this is a playoff team.
But there's a difference. There's a difference for being the Minnesota Wild. There's a difference between being the Minnesota Wild or the St. Louis Blues, where they should be, considering like where they are on this trajectory. They went from lottery team to being right below the lottery bar, just sucking. We were that 12 months ago. And the first step was, if everything goes right, we're going to be the Minnesota Wild. We're going to be the St. Louis Blues. We're going to compete. We're going to be in that trajectory. We're going to be in that point tier, But here we are doing this, and some may say it has a lot to do with luck, but I just think there's something really, really magical going on. So I think, you got to be honest with the answer. If I told you that the Canucks were Cup contenders 2 years ago, based on, what was going on, you would say there was a 0% chance they would still be in that like Minnesota Wild window, or just got to get your reps in. But to be a legitimate possible Cup contender, because this team's been near the top of the NHL standings for months. You'd say 0, man. Leadership, man. What books are these guys reading?
I'll ask you this quickly before we get to break. Who has been more influential to the Canucks' success, in your opinion, Allvin or Rutherford?
Wow, dude. Why you got to put these two against each other, man, like that? Probably, you know what? Damn, yo.
It's a tough question.
It's a tough question because you don't want to disrespect Allvin, but there's something really badass about Jim Rutherford, something kind of rare to have in that front office or anywhere near the organization. I should attach championship pedigree to badass because it kind of makes the legitimacy of him being that guy the truth. And because of that, and because of what's happened in 2 years, how can I not give so much of the acknowledgement to, again, somebody who's gotten the job done before, a rarity anywhere, a rarity that never happens, okay, with anything Vancouver Canucks. And, if you're new to the show and you've gotten here, I got to remind you again, like, why I do also think this is so magical is because this actually feels kind of new, really new. Hey, the Canucks are not like top of the league type. They're not like a top of the league type of team a lot in their 50+ years. So this is still pretty new. And B, bro, there's never been a time in the Vancouver Canucks organization where there has been that many Stanley Cups in that building every day. That many Stanley Cups. I know we don't have anything in the rafters, but the people, the leaders, the philosophy, it does. So it is different. And what is different for the Vancouver Canucks? Pretty much the only thing that's different. It's the fact that they've been in the league for 50+ years and they don't have a championship. That's like the last different thing they have on their menu in comparison to a lot of other sports teams in the league. It's not an NHL thing. This is like bizarre. Anyways, it's magical, man.
Yeah.
Let's go to June, man.
Yeah,
Quinn Hughes for the Conn Smythe.
There we go. The T-shirts are coming out maybe sometime soon. And again, the secret philosophy of the Vancouver Canucks' success is a staff that disagrees with each other, okay?
Ooh.
It seems wild, but it just makes a ton of sense when you really think about it.
Wow.
So that's why the Canucks have been so good this season. Another reason they've been so good is, they got a great supporting cast beneath the 4 guys who are, MVP caliber players. We're going to talk about one of the members of the supporting cast and why he is the most underrated player in the NHL. Before we get to that, we got to shout out our friends over at Gametime. All right, you know me, your boy Begsy. I'm cheap, okay? Or as I like to say, I'm just a big last-minute deals guy. And I found that the best place for killer deals at the last minute, if you're looking for tickets, is Gametime. It all started with Nicole, okay? I started getting these emails from Nicole, and she was always teasing me with concerts and events this week in my area. Not only were those weekly emails a tease, but, Gametime also offered me flash deals on last-minute tickets. And that matters, okay? Because not only do they offer flash deals and last-minute tickets, but they also got the lowest price guarantee along with event protection cancellation. What else can't Gametime do, man? Unbelievable.
Whoa.
If you're looking for those Canuck playoff tickets, remember that Gametime has the lowest price guarantee, okay? And if you are looking for those Canuck playoff tickets, make sure you go use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
People, we back and we strong in that Wi-Fi, man. Doing its thing, man. It's not how you start, it's how you finish in Begsy. Full connection. I feel it. On that note, though, you brought up something pretty serious, man. I don't know if you're taking a shot at the Locked On production, but you said, great organizations, championship-like organizations, they tend to have members who disagree a lot, okay? Strong opinions, disagree, no yes men, and here you and I are, doing this every day, and just based on our friendship, we never disagree on anything, bro. What's going on,
maybe
man?
you'll disagree. Maybe you'll disagree with me on this. Conor Garland has been the most underrated player in the NHL this season.
Damn.
True or false?
Bro, I only watch a lot of Canucks games, so I'm going to say true, but that's a pretty bold statement, man. That's a pretty bold statement.
I think here, part of the rationale, from my opinion here, and I do truly believe that Conor Garland is at least one of the most underrated players in the NHL, if not the most underrated.
Whoa.
Although, yeah, it's a bold statement. I get it. Bold Begsy, okay? I make some great Swedish meatballs. And I'm not Swedish, okay? But I do a great job.
Wow, cultural appropriation. Why don't you just call them meatballs, man? Come on, man.
No, but they're Swedish meatballs. It's the way you make it.
I don't know. I don't even know what that term means.
I
I don't know what that term means, Trevor. I don't know what that term means. All I'm saying is for the next 80 minutes of production on Locked On Canucks, I'm just disagreeing with you, okay? Let's get better, man.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Conor Garland. So one of the reasons I think he's, one of the most underrated players in the NHL is the stats just don't tell the story about his season. And we've said it all season long, but here are some numbers on Garland. So since the beginning of the 2021-22 season, only 3 Canuck players have more than 100 even strength points. They're Elias Pettersson, who has 126, JT Miller, who has 119, and Conor Garland, who has 109.
Whoa.
It's crazy to think that, JT Miller and Elias Pettersson, we see them on this MVP stratosphere. Over the past 3 years, Conor Garland is not far behind them in terms of even strength points. And you look at this season, there's only 3 guys on the Canucks who have more even strength points per 60, and it's Miller, Pettersson, and Höglander. Conor Garland actually this season has more shots than any Canuck at even strength. You could argue that he's been unlucky, that he hasn't scored more goals. He's created, no player's created more rebounds than Conor Garland, just in terms of, firing pucks on net, getting rebounds that lead to high danger chances. I mean, it makes me think that if this guy did get a bunch of time on the first power play unit, what is he, a 60, 70 point guy?
No way, dude. What do you mean? He's had a bunch of time on the power play recently, and it sucked.
Well, look at
it sucked, bro. It was so bad, bro. It sucked.
He had, one game, maybe 2 games?
No. I think he had 3 or 4, bro. He had quite a bit of time there, bro. That's why it sucked, man. That's why it sucked. Okay, again, where is he compared? Like, put those stats against all the other players in the NHL before you. Like, I'm curious because I wouldn't be surprised if he's somewhere in the top 10, the top 20. Because let's be honest and let's be real, the Canucks have played a lot of games this season. We're at what, game 69? Right? Game 69. We played 69 games, if the math is correct. Bro, since October, look at game 1. Who did the damage? Who started it off? Who started the season off? It was Conor Garland. And, all throughout October and big parts of November, he wasn't scoring a lot of goals, getting a lot of points. He was getting nothing but shift after shift after shift. Bro, the dude's only been in the offensive zone. He may not know how to play defense, and it's okay because he's barely practiced it. Straight up. He's been productive. He's been efficient. He's been part of lines who establish confidence, momentum for the team, and they take it away from other teams. Really good the whole way through. And I feel as if, his production hasn't really been there if you look at the box score completely, because we're using a pretty bold statement here. But something tells me, and maybe he gets paid too much for you and I or other fans to not connect him to this, but something tells me that he actually may be the biggest X factor for the Vancouver Canucks in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because, obviously he's been tasked with, driving a third line to be the best third line in the NHL this season. He was tasked with trying to resurrect Elias Lindholm and his, his struggles. Then he got tasked with trying to help Pettersson out as well, right? Conor Garland is just, every time the Canucks have needed someone to fix a problem, he's been the guy that's been tasked with the solution. And they tried to get on the power play recently as well. And, by the way, wasn't he on the ice when the Penguins scored on the power play the other night?
Yeah, he was.
Conor Garland.
He was.
Conor Garland, again, his power play numbers haven't been that flattering, mostly second unit time. But just one of the most dominant even strength players in the NHL. And he's good defensively too. The guy's strong on pucks. You look at the possession metrics, the guy is, the opposition is rarely getting chances when Garland's on the ice. And I think the backs it up. Like,
dude, he's a POS.
Again, he's not over there shoving bodies out of the way. He's not a bruiser, but he's efficient. He's efficient in his own end.
He's probably doing some dirty things too, like he's so quick with it that like you can't really see it. You're definitely going to face some of those players in Div F ball hockey, okay? I know that starts off for you fairly soon here, okay? He just does things. Like, he's winning battles. He's always getting the puck. He never gives up. That's the biggest reason why A, Tocchet loves him, and B, he's being really effective. Like, I feel like there's a lot of NHL players out there who don't give up on plays, and their compete level is through the roof. And I think Conor Garland is, like, in that 1% of that category of player, of being the best at it. He's really good. And you know what, bro? We got to talk about this, man. Come on, man. We want this guy to be the most underrated NHLer in the league. We want Conor Garland to be a big part of this team for years and years and years because, bro, it's coming, man. That OEL cap hit is going to hit. It's going to hit. It's going to hurt. And if there's any way, just like we talked about earlier, that the impossible has happened so far this season, it feels magical. If there's any way the Canucks and their fan base can feel like they have a chance of winning that trade that happened years and years and years ago, and that's going to hurt us for years and years and years and years and years to come, it's because Conor Garland does a lot in the playoffs. Again, is he the X factor in the playoffs? The playoffs? Bro, I'll say this. I'm excited to watch that guy play his first shift for the Vancouver Canucks in the playoffs. You get goosebumps thinking about that first shift or the first couple of shifts in any playoff game, okay? It's what makes hockey the best sport in the world. It's like football, bro. It's like football with ice skates and, like, goaltenders, bro. It's crazy, man. Anyways, let's get to the comments, man. So much of you and I, okay? Garland, and this is coming from G. Ellis. Garland looks like he's having a blast playing NHL hockey, living the dream. Oh, well, whoa, okay. I didn't read the end of the comment, okay? My bad. I actually didn't, bro. I'm really sorry about that, man. I'm really, really sorry about that, okay? Look, dude, come on, man. I'm sorry about that, man. Another comment from G. Ellis, okay? The Locked On Oilers podcast said the Canucks are the easiest first round performer.
Ooh, we got a new enemy, man. We got a new enemy. I know they got a new host over there.
Bro. Okay. This person's lucky, man. This person's lucky. Anyways, let's get to break, okay? Let's get to break and talk some more, man.
Unbelievable, man. Well, that grinds my gears. Thanks for the heads up, GLS. We might have some beef over with our foes at Locked On Oilers again. New guy took over the show. New guy, who dis? Don't matter, okay? Let's wrap up the show with a little Canucks Canadiens talk, pregame prophecy, reading some of your comments. Before we do that, we got to shout out our friends over at eBay Motors. All right, you know the deal, baby. Passion, drive, and patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts to choose from for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride. Every time, or you get your money back. Big promise from eBay Motors, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, baby. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car to the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only, fit only available to U.S. customers.
We back, doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks here on LOC. Yo, think about that name, LOC, man. That's kind of cool, man. Anyways, Quinn Hughes for the Conn Smythe. Bro, I'm designing that shirt, bro. Trevor Beggs, you said let's make it after we win one round. Like I said, that shirt is an evergreen shirt. It's actually the most hopeful shirt ever made. Bro, straight up, man.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
It's some powerful stuff, man. Quinn Hughes for the Conn Smythe. Get used to it, okay? Again, though, that one G. Ellis comment, I gotta apologize to Conor Garland, man. Come on, man. It's okay if I call my girlfriend hot, right? Like, I'm allowed to do that, and just display that love and affection. But, come on. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bowen, talking about what? This game against the Canadiens, bro? Bro, Trevor, can I ask you a question? Can you humble me? I'm going to let you humble me, okay? Because even I am just looking forward to April or just games against Dallas and the Oilers. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to be overly passionate about Game 70 against the Montreal Canadiens. So do you want to humble me? Because this is not the right way to fan. In other words, I feel as if I'm not going to be as attentive as other games because, again, I'm looking at something else.
Well, I think for me, it's more so about the Canucks chasing first overall in the Western Conference, chasing a potential matchup against the Vegas Golden Knights, the nightmare first-round matchup, as my coworker Rob said at Daily Hive. I think you just want to see a continuation of what the Canucks are doing, when they've been at their best in March, right? The Montreal Canadiens, they're a sad sack opponent, but they've actually played in the most one-goal games in the NHL so far this season. So most games against Montreal are not pushover, easy win games. They usually play teams tough and just find a way to lose. I'm going to predict a close game, but I'm going to say it ends up being 5-3 for your Vancouver Canucks.
5-3? Casey DeSmith revenge game. Yo, is Tanner Pearson playing this game?
Tanner Pearson, I believe, is playing.
Do you remember when I said wave Tanner Pearson? I was in a dark place, man, but I was in a mindset similar to the one that Rutherford and Allvin have, Straight up, it is what it is. You got to get it done. You got to shed some cap space. We got to move forward. Trevor, again, months and months and months and months and months and months ago, bro, we were just trying to get into the playoffs, and look at us right now, man. Look at me right now. Not trying as hard to be a fan going into Game 70 because we're facing the Montreal Canadiens. Now, you know what I want to see tonight? I want to see more than one power play goal. I really do. And I want to see Quinn Hughes specifically put up 4 points or 5 points so he can be back on track to getting to 100, thus making him not only, a Conn Smythe favorite, but, putting him in line for us to have more and more conversations about this being the best season put forward by any player in team history.
I love it, man. Let's look forward to all that tonight. Actually, let's do one other thing quickly before we get out of here. We haven't done it in a while. I don't think we have a drop for it, but I do want to hand out an award for the Cam Neely former Canuck of the week. Okay. If you're an everydayer or you've been around for a little bit, you heard this segment, but we haven't done it in a couple months. But I'm gonna get shout out.
Wait, Trevor.
I don't wanna say goodbye.
Hey, Kyle, look at you go, man. You got the drop, buddy. The Cam Neely former Canuck of the week. This week is Michael DiPietro, okay? You probably forgot about him. Canucks traded him away early last season for Jack Studnicka. And we also traded away prospect Jonathan Myrenberg. So obviously Jack Studnicka has moved on from the Canucks organization. He's now with the San Jose Sharks in the AHL. So, not one of Allvin's best moves. In fact, probably his worst move, even though there haven't been a lot of bad moves made by him. But Michael DiPietro was buried on the depth chart last season, was still finding his way. But this season with the Providence Bruins in the AHL, the guy has a .916 save percentage and 4 shutouts.
Trevor, can you stop talking about a Boston Bruin? Can you stop talking about a Boston?
Cam Neely former Canuck of the week.
I don't give a beep, yo. Come on, man. It's Game 7. You're facing the Canadiens. These games matter. And, we talked about winning the Stanley Cup and having this philosophy and Quinn Hughes for the Conn Smythe. And here you are, ending off the show on the 30th minute, giving some love to a Boston Bruin player. Yeah, he's a former Canuck, but he plays for a Bruin now. And, bro, this guy played one period for the Canucks, and he sucked.
Okay, that was unfair, man. He got thrown to the wall. 18-year-old because Jim Benning's incompetence.
You're a goalie, bro. What's your job? Stop some shots, man. Look at you, man. Fishing for moral victories for a guy who plays for the Boston Bruins, bro. I'm disappointed in you, man. Truly are the darkest guy on the program, Trevor Beggs. Straight up. Anyways, we're giving away 2 Canucks tickets in the link in the bio. Join the Discord. That's how you qualify to win that. We'll announce the winner tomorrow. The game is what? The game is on the Monday, March 25th. Okay, again, 2 tickets to that game against the Kings. Boom, bam. We do it because, come on, man. We're doing this out of the Don't Doze Art Lab. You don't think we got that West Coast bias? Straight up. I'm more West Coast biased than a Hindu. Do the math. Trevor Beggs, sign us out.
All right. Shout out to the everydayers, occasional listeners, first-time listeners, new subscribers, and those of you who joined us here on our live show on YouTube. We love each and every one of you, your families, and your dogs too. Locked On Canucks is nothing without you tuning in. If you do like the show, again, subscribe, like, 5-star review, all that good stuff. It helps us out. And hey, if you do that and subscribe to the Discord, you have a chance to win 2 tickets to the Canucks on Monday, March 25th. Okay, we'll recap the Canucks Canadiens game. Look forward towards the playoffs, the future, and we'll chirp the Edmonton Oilers as well. I think they're pissed that we were chirping them. That's probably what's going on over at Locked On Oilers. Unbelievable stuff. That's all coming up on another episode of Locked On Canucks. But for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy is Kyle Bowen, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
I'm pretty sure he's saying that because the Oilers have won like 37 of their last 44 games or something. Anyways, F the Oilers. And Trevor, I hate you, man.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.